The Backlash against Total War Rome Remastered. Hi everyone, and sometimes when I post a video that I feel is relevant to the broader Total War community, such as a mod review or a discussion video, I'll post a link to it on the Reddit Total War community. Usually the response to these videos is muted, though sometimes the community responds quite positively, especially to videos like my review of the Bronze Age mod for Rome Total War, and my preview for Avatar The Last Airbender Total War, the mod for Rome Total War. Now, in the past few weeks, I have made some videos about Total War Rome Remastered, and I'm surprised to say that there has actually been some backlash I've observed to the general positivity surrounding Rome Remastered, and these negative responses have been upvoted by a number of people, and I just wanted to discuss these points of view in a video right here. So let's take a look at some of the responses to my latest videos about the remaster. So this one is a response to my latest video about the remaster, where I talk about how it has the potential to be the best Total War of all time. And of course, in that video, I talk about how it has so much modding potential, and I essentially talk about how the mods are what made Rome Total War stay great for such a long time, even after it had already really become outdated in a lot of ways, especially technically. And so the comment is, "All right now, calm down." And, of course, if you actually watch the video, it's definitely a more muted tone than in the title. So I did, okay, I made a title that was a little bit hyperbolic, perhaps, but, actually not really. And, the response here is because it's the kind of overhype that inevitably leads to disappointment and outrage later on. Hype at the best of times is a bad idea. Overhype like this, even more so. Now, when you talk about the Total War games post Empire, and you have the Warscape engine, it just all the games are less moddable in a lot of its fundamental areas. So while modders were able to mod things like the AI, perhaps, or the battle AI a bit more than in Rome Total War, for example, where the battle AI is more hard-coded, right? Fundamental aspects like the campaign map and battle maps like that are not moddable, and that really hamstrings modders in a lot of ways. And of course, the remaster, since according to Farrell, is going to be moddable, and perhaps even more moddable than the original in some aspects, though of course it will be difficult to mod due to the higher quality of the assets of the game. I don't feel like it's overhype, because Rome Total War, for me, it's my personal favorite Total War game due to the incredible battle engine, which has yet to be surpassed, even by Medieval 2, which has actually a slightly dumbed down version of the Rome Total War battle engine. Even with all of its technical limitations, Rome Total War is perhaps the Total War game that I'm still happy about booting up and playing, because it's such a good complete package, right? And it's such an amazing canvas for mods, and a canvas that I feel is better than Medieval 2 in a lot of ways for mods. Now, that's why I feel that my video was not overhype, because I was giving my opinion, and it was just interesting to see this sort of backlash reaction to Rome Remastered, because, I know that there are a lot of people who perhaps grew up on the Warscape games like Empire, Napoleon, Shogun 2, and, I count myself among that number because I like those games too. But, Rome and Rome Remastered has that potential to be the best Total War game, in my opinion, because of all the experiences that can be created by modders due to the modability of the campaign map. Like, it's so much more editable, right? The game is so much more flexible. And because of the text-based files, it's so much easier for amateurs to get involved in modding, right? With Rome Total War. Because anyone can go in there and change the playable factions, I'm talking about the original. Of course, the factions can be made playable from the start in the remaster through the launcher. Yeah, and it's so much more accessible for a lot of people to mod. So I feel like this person's response where he says, I think it's one of the rare cases where at least people have something to base their enthusiasm upon. Yeah, and we have a lot to base our enthusiasm upon, and we're excited about Rome Total War Remastered, and by being excited for something like Rome Total War Remastered, where the developer has shown that they want to support the modding community and want to support the game after release, and release mod tools to help people, because if you remember, the original Rome Total War didn't have mod tools. So the fact that they're adding tools, that's huge news, especially for modders. I know my modding friends were especially happy about that news, that they were going to provide some modding tools for models, I believe. So that's already more modding support than they showed when Rome Total War, the original, was released. And that is huge news. And, we have to be at least somewhat enthusiastic about this, or, okay, no one has to be, of course. But I feel like I should be enthusiastic because I want to show Creative Assembly that these are the sorts of initiatives, and this is the sort of reaching out that we want to see from Feral Interactive and the Creative Assembly with all Total Wars, right? And campaign map modability is so important. And of course, Shogun 2 was the last one to have map modding tools, though they haven't really been used to their full potential with Shogun 2. Though there are a lot of mods that edit the map, and they're great mods. And there's even a Lord of the Rings one in development I will talk about at some point soon on the channel, called The Last Alliance Total War for Shogun 2. I'm excited about that one. But map modding, that's probably the most important thing for me. And province and region modding. Of course, one of the biggest announcements for me during the Feral question and answer session with the community on the official Total War Discord was that they would be lifting the region and settlement limits, because that really allows for bigger maps, more detailed maps, and really detailed, deep campaigns. Imagine a campaign as deep as Europa Barbarorum's with a map that's just really big with a lot of settlements. That would be pretty amazing, pretty epic, I think. Now let's go to the next comment here. I don't hate it, but saying it's going to be the greatest Total War game ever made is a giant stretch. Well, of course, everyone knows on the channel, I very rarely play vanilla Rome Total War, right? I've played it recently in preparation for the remaster, right? To think about the game some more, because I hadn't played it in many years. And I play a lot of Rome Total War, but 99.5% of the time it's mods, right? A mod. Europa Barbarorum, Invasio Barbarorum, Chivalry, mods like that. Those are End of Days 2. Those total conversion mods that change the map, add provinces, change provinces, settlements, names, things like that. Those are the experiences that I treasure when I think of Rome Total War, right? So I don't feel like it's a giant stretch for me personally. Of course, Medieval 2 Remaster, that's definitely something I want to see. Even though, I rank Medieval 2 Vanilla below Rome Total War Vanilla, I feel like they dropped the ball on a lot of things. But, I would still love to see a remaster, and all the Kingdoms campaigns being remastered. That would be amazing. That would be a ton of content. That would be pretty incredible. And with the lifting of the faction cap and the region and settlements cap for the campaign map, that would be pretty amazing. And then, of course, that would allow for amazing medieval era mods. So, Medieval 2 Remaster, definitely something I'd like to see, but Rome 1 Remaster, that was definitely on my list of wants before Medieval 2 Remaster. Also, of course, due to the fact that the original Rome ran on single core, and it doesn't utilize more than 2 gigabytes of RAM, really. It's extremely unstable with bigger mods, and people on modern systems have to download like strange DLL files from random sources in order to get it running well. So definitely Rome 1 needed the remaster before Medieval 2. That, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Now, how about a Medieval 1 remaster? That could be awesome. But in any case, let's go to the last comment here. What are these people smoking when making this type of video? So I feel like this person didn't watch the video, actually, because I feel like my video was quite neutral and I was quite objective when talking about it. But yeah, it's funny. I don't smoke anything, really. Yeah. So let's go to some of the positive comments. So, of course, let's look at this first one. Depending on how motivated the modding community is, it very well could be. Now, this is an interesting thing to talk about because, the modding community does have to be motivated so that these mods get made. These amazing experiences can get made and remade and made anew for Rome Total War Remastered. And let's not beat around the bush here. Rome Total War Remastered, due to the higher quality assets, the 4K textures and heavier textures and things like that, and the higher polygon models, it's going to be no doubt more difficult to mod units, to create textures, new textures, buildings, walls, environments. It's going to be more difficult to mod such things, and it's going to be more difficult to create those new assets because the quality of the game is much higher than the original, right? So when you're dealing with higher quality stuff, it's going to be tougher for modders to work on all of that. And so actually this person, this commenter, is quite right to say it depends on how motivated the modding community is. And of course, a lot of that depends on the engagement from Feral Interactive and Creative Assembly with the modding community and the quality of the tools provided and post-release support for the game. And I feel like this comment hits the nail on the head in regards to that. And, that was something I thought we could discuss for a moment. So this was a comment I saw, I think right when, shortly after the announcement of Rome Remastered, I made a video about the top 10 mods that should be ported. And those were just, that video was more, I know it was a little much, to expect mod teams to come back out of retirement for a game that they modded, 15 years ago in order to port their old creations, right, to the new one. And of course, we don't even know how possible it's going to be to do these ports, and to port assets and things like that. And so that video was more of a vehicle to gauge like what the community wanted. Of course, I made a poll about what mods people would like to see ported. And it was just trying to gauge, what the community remembered the most from the old Rome Total War mods, and what experiences they wanted to see for Rome Remastered, and what people valued the most, and what number of people valued those different experiences. And of course, this comment, can we just play it first before the mod zealots start weighing in? I mean, it's a very strange comment to me. Like, people who enjoy Total War mods, it's a video where people who enjoy Total War mods can watch the video, and then we have a discussion in the comments and on the community page of the channel. And it's just very strange. I just found this comment quite strange, because why would you even make this comment? I don't know. It's just a little odd. But I actually didn't know that there was such a segment in the community where people would be so hostile to people that enjoy mods. It's just strange. It's just strange to me. And then this comment is also interesting. This looks great and all, but I just don't get why. How does this effort to remaster Rome 1 make sense when we already have Rome 2? Now, of course, I already knew from the start that there was a segment of the Total War community that had this point of view. Because, a lot of people haven't played Rome 1. I mean, 16, 17 years have passed since the release of Rome 1. And there's a whole generation of players that have never played Rome 1, and they have modern systems. They don't even want to give it a try because they need DLL files and all that sort of stuff. And they don't want to get into the complex nature of some of the mod installation processes. So, a lot of people have this point of view, and it's interesting. It's interesting. I think it's been explained by a lot of people why Rome 1 could use a remaster, and why it's a very different experience compared to Rome 2. It's a totally different game, totally different experience, totally different abstraction of history, in a very different way. Gameplay is totally different, especially on the campaign map. So, yeah. In any case, I have also been... these are pretty much all the comments I wanted to highlight. And, this is just a discussion video. I'm not upset or anything at anyone. Nobody should be upset. Everyone has a right to their own opinion. But I just thought it would be interesting to discuss these sort of backlash to Rome Remastered points of view. Because, there are different segments of the Total War community that have their own opinions. And there are different segments that could have their own negative view of the Rome 1 remaster. And, I just wanted to talk about it here in this discussion video. I thought it would be interesting. And, of course, we can talk about all of these in the comments down below. I thought this would be a fun video to make. So, if you enjoyed the video, you can leave a like. If you enjoy content about the historical Total Wars, including Rome Total War, Medieval 2, Empire, Napoleon, Shogun 2, all of them, I have videos about all of them on the channel, then you can subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one.